Welcome to Cat Chat alongside Sean Kelly. I'm Pete Francis, and Sean, the hockey team, came up with a huge sweep over UNL this weekend, and it started with a big win on Friday.
That's right, Pete. It was 6 big points for the Wildcats this weekend at the Barrie Event Center. Nebraska-Omaha opened the scoring first by a goal from John Kemp, 3 minutes and 5 seconds into the first, and that would be all the Mavericks would get. As Justin Florek added a goal 11:33 into the first, and then 42 seconds into the second, which would prove to be the game winner. Mark Olver scored a goal 17 minutes into the second period. It was set up by a beautiful block by TJ Miller. Olver streaked down the ice and put it home, 5-hole between the Nebraska-Omaha goalie. Hansen would add another goal from Ray Canisto. Brian Stewart had 23 big saves, 12 of them coming in the third period for a 5-1 victory.
The team kept it going on Saturday, and we were there, so let's go to the highlights.
We'll pick it up in the second period. With the Cats down 2-0, Tyler Grahn puts NMU on the board with his second goal of the season. Still in the second period, Jared Brown's shot is blocked, but Gregor Hansen puts it in off the rebound to tie it at 2 apiece. And with under 3 minutes to go in the period, Mark Olver on the breakaway, sniping, and the Cats take a 3-2 lead into the third. UNO comes right back and responds as Alex Hudson puts in the tying goal, and we are deadlocked with 12 minutes to play. The Cats come right back with a great-looking goal from Mark Olver to Phil Fox, and NMU regains the lead 4-3. And they keep the momentum going as Gregor Hansen finds Ray Canisto, and the Cats have a 2-goal lead. Under 2 minutes to play, UNO pulls the goalie, and Mark Olver comes up with the dagger. His second goal of the game, NMU wins 6-3 and gets the series sweep.
It was a great weekend for the Cats, Sean. What impressed you the most?
Oh, what impressed me the most was the passing by Northern. It was crisp passing, and the Mavericks weren't able to stop it, and a lot of the passes led to breakouts, which led to breakaways down the ice. Also scoring from the second and third line, which hasn't been there all year. Gregor Hansen had 5 points on the weekend, 2 goals and 3 assists. Ray Canisto added a goal and 3 assists. And Brian Stewart had 57 saves for the weekend, 23 of them coming in the third period alone on both nights.
Well, next up for the team, Sean, is Alaska. How do you see this series shaking out?
Alaska is a very tough defensive team. Scott Greenham takes over for Chad Johnson. Chad Johnson was arguably the best goaltender in the CCHA last year. Scott Greenham comes in, takes over. Alaska's 10th in the country currently. He has a 1.88 goals against average and a .920 save percentage. He's played in every game this year. He's 8-3-1. This past weekend, Alaska played at Lake State. They split. They had a loss on Friday and a win in overtime on Saturday. But I see it as a very close defensive game, and the Cats may have a little more offense in them. I think they can get at least three points this weekend.
We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, I'll be joined by NMU head coach Walt Kyle. Don't go anywhere.
Can't get enough of Northern Michigan athletics? Well, you're in luck, because Cat Chat is Northern Michigan University's new television sports show, featuring highlights, recap, analysis, and interviews with all your favorite Wildcat players. Join us Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. on Marquette Channel 20, or follow us online at catchattv.org as we bring you the latest in Wildcat sports. Cat Chat, the UP's #1 sports show.
Welcome back. Joining us now is NMU head coach Walt Kyle. Thanks for coming on the show today.
No problem. Glad I could be on.
The team struggled a little bit at home so far this season. How big was this sweep against UNO, and how important was it to reestablish the home ice?
Well, it was really important. I think if you're going to be successful in college sports, you have to be successful in your own building. And we haven't been able to find wins at home, so the Friday night game was certainly a big win for us. And to be able to back that up with a win again on Saturday was very important. We've played some very good teams that are ranked real high nationally at home. And we've had great games, but haven't been able to get wins. And to be able to get those points, particularly in our league, was important.
In goal, Brian Stewart and Reed Ellingson have both seen some time this year. How nice is it to have two capable goaltenders like that?
I think it's great. I mean, I think that, Stewie's certainly going to be our go-to guy. He's proven that he can win his games. He has the most experience. But with Reed playing the way that he did, I have no hesitation in going with Reed, putting Reed in critical situations. He responded very well in the games he's played, and that looks very good for us. That position looks very strong for us moving ahead into the future. And I would feel very comfortable if we any night that we play Reed at this point.
Mark Ulver was selected to the first team All-CCHA team in the preseason. You said before the season that you didn't think he had really proven he was worthy of it yet, and he was capable of a lot more, but you have to be thrilled with the start he's off to this year.
Oh, he's had an outstanding start, and it's almost the exact reversal of what happened to him a year ago. I think last year he went 10 games before he had his first point. This year he's been, one of the most, if not the most explosive player in college hockey, certainly one of the most explosive, and he's off to a great start. He's got an exceptional work ethic both in the games and in practice, and he, every point that he's gotten to this point in the season is well deserved.
Well, the team is coming off back-to-back trips to the Joe, and with that comes increased expectations, not only from the fans, but I'm sure with the team yourselves. Is the NCAA tournament an expectation this year?
Well, I think it always is. I think that when you enter a season, I think you always expect and hope for some of the highest possible things that you can achieve. And I don't really believe in setting real concrete goals. We're always looking at trying to compete for and win a league championship, to try to have success in our league playoffs, to try to move forward into the NCAA tournament and have success there. Getting to the tournament sometimes is an inexact science. It's the formulas and the things that they use to some degree are out of your control. They're based on strength of schedule and teams that you play. But if you win games, it all has a way of working out. And one of our goals this year is to get to that tournament and be able to make some waves when we get there.
You've played at Northern and you've coached at Northern. What was your most memorable game as a player, and what's been your most memorable game as a coach?
That's my most memorable game as a player. My junior year, we'd won the CCHA, and in those days, when you won the CCHA title, you had to play the second place team in the WCHA to win the right to go to the NCAA Final Four. And we played the host. The host spot had always rotated. 1 year WCHA, 1 year CCHA. We wound up playing the University of Minnesota in a game that was supposed to be played here in Marquette, but because of the difference in the size of the venue, the NCAA moved it back to Minneapolis, where they could make more money and put 7,000 people in the building and make more money. So we wound up playing in Minnesota for the rights to go to the NCAA tournament, and we won the game 4-3, and it was a huge upset in college hockey. We wound up that year losing to North Dakota in the NCAA championship. So as a player, that was my most memorable game. I think as a coach, as an assistant coach here, you'd have to say the national championship game that we won in '91 was certainly one of the biggest games I've been involved in. And since I've been back here, there've been a number of games, playoff wins. We've had a couple times we've won Game 3 in overtime and some things of that nature. So I've had a number of games that I felt were real important and a lot of great memories.
Yeah, you were an assistant coach under Rick Comley for a long time at NMU. What's the most important lesson you've taken from Coach Comley?
Well, there were a lot of things. I was fortunate enough to play here under Rick, and I think Rick was a good man. He's a good man. He's a good person, and I think he helped shape both my brother and my lives, and shaped us into, partly responsible for shaping us into the people that we are today. And I think that one of the things to be a successful coach, a lot of it is the character of who you are, and you got to be able to stand up when things aren't always going right. You have to be able to stand up for what you believe in to your players, and Rick always did that when I played for him, and I watched him do that when I coached under him, and I think some of those traits certainly have worn off on me.